Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 10 best brawlers to max out for Power League. So this will range from a lot of different things, so making sure that you've got plenty of brawlers that can cover a lot of different game modes. So we're going to be starting off with Byron. So if you've seen my best 10 brawlers video, I sneaked Byron in there, maybe overrated him a little bit, but he definitely is towards the 80. He's so incredibly strong with his supercharge buff, and I think he is basically never banned, so that's obviously a positive in Power League. You want to be maxing out a brawler that's never banned, but he's super versatile. You can use him in gem grab as a gem carrier, you can use him in Brawl on passive maps like Backyard Bowl, you can easily use him on knockout as well, a really passive brawler, staying behind walls. Of course, you've also got Shooting Star, for example, where he was basically used in already before the buff. And I feel like you can even use him on long-range maps like Kaboom Canyon if you synergize him with some aggressive Brawlers Hot Zone as well. He can easily pocket heal people. So I just feel like he's a really strong, versatile brawler right now. And like I said, he's never banned, so you can always use him. So jumping into the next brawler, you should absolutely be maxing out for Power League. It is Sandy. So Sandy, I feel like right now is in the underrated period where Sandy only takes 6 hits to get super instead of 7. And already Sandy is just starting to creep up. You're already seeing a little bit more because in competitive before the buff, saw Sandy being brought in to counter the likes of Tara. And now you just see a lot more in gem grab, Brawl. That's typically where you see Sandy. You can even use Sandy as a mid on some maps like Double Swoosh, of course paired with the speed gear. Very strong. You don't really see Sandy typically outside of that because he's very limited in the range, but for those 2 game modes in particular, I think he's very, very strong right now. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out for Power League. It is Stu. So I recommend pretty much for the last 2 years for you to max out Stu. So whether you're someone that's not watched my channel yet, I don't know what you're doing if you haven't maxed out Stu, because he's absolutely insane. So the reason why Stu is so good, he has 2 versatile gadgets. Using Speed Zone in Hot Zone and passive maps can make him really strong. Also, just he's really good in terms of his star powers. You've got also Zero Drag, which is a lot better now because Gas the Heal doesn't actually heal up about that it should. It should heal up like 500, 600. But Zero Drag is a more preferred star power, I'd say now. So you can say that you're able to use him on more long range maps. You know, like Backyard Bowl, you see a lot more Zero Drag Stu, for example. And you're able to break open walls with Zero Drag as well. And you're still just seeing him so much. You see him pretty much everywhere. You even see him in Heists, where typically he doesn't deal a lot of damage, but he's just able to counter so many of the meta brawlers. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out for Power League. It is Gus. So Gus, still after several months, hasn't been nerfed at all. I kind of get why, because he's not as toxic as other brawlers, but still, he's very strong, and he's never banned out in Power League still. So you're pretty much guaranteed a Gus pick. I'd say the only chance not to pick him is as a first pick. You never really want to pick him as a first pick because he is countered pretty easily by aggression. But still, if you've got second and third, you can easily pair him with a tank counter. So pretty much in every single game mode, you want to go Gus because, except for Heist, because he doesn't deal with damage. But, you know, you're thinking of Gem Grab, he's an amazing mid in Hard Rock Mine. You're thinking Brawl, he's an amazing mid or even lane on Backyard Bowl, for example, and still pretty usable on Field Goal. Knockout, of course, insane. Wipeout, insane as well. Hot Zone, you pretty much need another shutdown brawler with him, but you can still easily go and he pairs so well with aggression. Super versatile. Gus is a must max out. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out in Power League right now. It is Squeak. So a lot of people were asking, where is Gus, where is Squeak in my best 10 brawlers video? I'll say they're just outside of top 10, if not probably still top 10 in the meta. You know, Squeak recently received 2 nerfs, but I don't think that really did too much to him. I think that just made it so you can't really just first pick him all the time now. But he's an incredible late pick. He's still very versatile with his residue gadget, and you've got 4 uses of residue, so it's still pretty toxic overall. And you still deal 15% extra damage with that star power as well. So pretty much everywhere as well you can use a Squeak. I'd say there's nowhere really where I'd be concerned if you picked a Squeak. You know, probably his worst game mode is going to be Heist, but still as a late pick, it can be a pretty good counter to a lot of those squishy brawlers. I still feel like he has to be one of the best brawlers in the game. So jumping into another must max out brawler for Power League, we have Otis. So if you guys have been around Power League right now, I just feel like Fang is running rampant. He's so strong right now. I feel like you can't go Fang everywhere, but yeah, that's the main reason why Otis is a must max out, because he's the best counter to Fang. Once Fang supers in on Otis, you got the mute ready. Fang can't do anything, so he's a fantastic shutdown to Fang. But no, that, of course, he's really strong against tanks as well. And I feel like he's often overlooked. You know, sometimes I feel like in some metas he is overrated because of brawlers like Shelly, but I feel like he's in a perfect spot right now. He's really good on a gem grab right now because there's so many tanks. Even on bushy maps, he's pretty strong because he's got his gadget to scout. You know, that vision gear is paired really well with Otis. You've got Brawl, of course, you're guaranteed for some type of aggression, so Otis can be really good in that category. And I've even seen him use a lot in knockout and also, you know, game modes like Heist as well, where he's able to counter those tanks. So if you want to shut down those tanks, use Otis. Jumping into another brawler you must absolutely max out for Power League, it is Eve. So a lot of people don't really call Eve OP or strong, but I think she's kind of close to that in a sense that she's always near the A tier, on the verge of S tier because of how strong she is on certain maps. You can't just pick and play Eve everywhere, of course, but you know, you're thinking of certain maps, she's so polarizing, and still I wouldn't even say she's banned out all the time because people often forget how strong she is. You know, you're thinking of maps like Safe Zone, Kaboom Canyon, she completely runs wild over everyone. You're talking about maps like Out in the Open as well, so incredibly strong. So for me, she's a must play on certain maps, so you really do need to max her out because she'll be able to win your games on her own. But into the next brawler you must absolutely max out in this meta, it has to be Fang. So Fang, he got buffed with his super damage, and I've kind of been in denial with how strong he is, but the more I play Power League and the more I play against him specifically, it's very frustrating. He's a very strong brawler, especially against the right composition. So for me, of course, he's going to be strongest in knockout and wipeout because those are going to be where the sharpshooters, throwers, and the squishy brawlers are going to be heading. But still, you can pretty much use them everywhere because you're always destined, especially in this type of meta, for the squishy brawlers, I would say, because there's been a lot of buffs to some sharpshooters like Mandy, Piper, and Nanny, for example. There's always throwers everywhere. And I'd say, like, except for maybe Brawl, you don't really typically see a ton of tanks. So that's where Fang comes into play and destroys them. And another really underrated thing as well is the 4th gadget gear on Fang. So now you get an extra stun. You know, typically 3 stuns. By the time you run out of your 3rd stun, you get countered too easily. But now you've got another green button. You're able to win a lot more matchups, in my opinion. Finally, jumping into the last brawler, I definitely recommend maxing it out for Power League. I think I said this just on my general max out video as well. It is Buster. So Buster is another brawler which I think is very strong in the game right now, but is often overlooked and never banned out. So you've always got a chance to play Buster. Of course, being a tank, you always want some brawlers that are better in the last pick. You want some brawlers that are good as a first pick, and Buster is definitely towards the latter end, or just basically not as a first pick. You can still use Buster, I'd say, as like a 3rd, 4th, or even 5th pick because of how versatile he is. Again, on any grassy map, he can be very sneaky with his slow-mo gadget. The use of the speed gear and the 4th gear gadget enables him to make so many plays. I can see him pretty much usable everywhere. Gem grab, he's very strong right now. Brawl, I would say he can be strong in some areas, but he needs to make sure he's got the right matchup. He can be even strong on passive game modes because that can allow him to build up his super as long as he stays next to his teammates. I think you can pretty much use him everywhere except for Heist. So definitely get using Buster in this meta right now. He's very, very strong. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know who you think are the best 10 brawlers for Power League right now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.